Welcome to our worship service at First Unitarian Society of Ithaca. Here we gather, nurturing our connections, seeking inspiration, and embracing the warmth, light, and glorious colors of spring. I can't remember a year when the rhododendrons have been this spectacular. My name is Magdalene Lindeberg, and I'm the Celebration Associate today. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to everyone on the second to last service of this church year. Whether you are a first-time viewer or have been joining us on this year-long journey of virtual church, we are so glad that you are here with us. Please check our website for more information about how to create connections. If you'd like to receive updates describing opportunities for engagement, please email a request to office@uuithaca.org. Newcomers are specially invited to visit our website and complete a newcomer form on the homepage. I have a special announcement. Join us for a new spin on an annual tradition. Join in a ritual of goodbye for Reverend Margaret and a celebration of our shared ministry together. This is happening next Sunday. Registration is available in the weekly announcement, and we are inviting you to register for one of 3 time slots: 10 a.m., 11:45 a.m., or 1:45 p.m. We have a limited number of slots available for each time, so please be sure to register every member of your family individually and do so as soon as possible. All 3 gatherings will include signing in, temperature checks, masks, and social distancing to keep us all safe. Again, this is for the June 13th service in Stewart Park Pavilion. You can also find information on our website about registering for the Unitarian Universalist General Assembly. Our service this morning has been pre-recorded, but we look forward to sharing the service broadcast on Sunday morning and seeing you at the live coffee hour that follows.
Our opening words this morning are by my dear friend and colleague, the Reverend Claire Feingold Thorin. Their words modeled after a beloved piece by the late Reverend Max Coots. Let us give thanks for a bouquet of people. We give thanks for children. Like tulips and iris, they multiply around us, making the world ever more filled with color, beauty, and new life. May we bless them as they replant themselves ever further from us, knowing that they need their own space to grow into. We give thanks for generous friends, as constant in bloom as echinacea, and whose gifts lift up our body and spirit. We give thanks for feisty friends, as indomitable as geraniums, and for continuous friends who, like bittersweet and ivy, hold on and never let go, and can never be gotten rid of. For crotchety friends as prickly as rose bushes, their beauty a secret that is only discovered through careful gardening. For surprising friends who at first glance seem dour and then blossom into joy as quickly as forsythia. For funny friends, silly as snapdragons, and serious friends, complex as chrysanthemums. For comfortable friends, their gentle presence as soothing as the sweet smell of lilacs. For stormy weather friends who stand by us in hard times, like lily of the valley that cannot be deterred by shade or shadow. For old friends nodding like sunflowers in the evening time, and young friends coming on fast as flocks. For friends as unpretentious as dogwood, as persistent as pachysandra, as steadfast as azalea, and who, like snowdrops, can be counted on to see you through the winter and remind you that spring always comes. For loving friends who wind around us like wisteria and embrace us despite our blights, wilts, and witherings. And finally, for forget-me-nots, those friends gone but never forgotten. Their beauty lives on in our memories and our hearts. For this bouquet of people who brighten our lives, each in their own way, we give thanks. So may it be. Whoever you are, Whoever you love, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Here you belong. The flaming chalice is the symbol of our shared Unitarian Universalist living tradition. It is a symbol of artists and activists, mystics and heretics, reformers and refugees, and Unitarian Universalists everywhere.
We light this chalice today with gratitude for the resilience and perseverance of us all through difficult times. May we continue to do hard things with patience and compassion for ourselves and each other.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Good morning, friends. June has arrived, and with it, our final time for wonder of this church year. This year has at times seemed to crawl along, while equally flying by, so that I am somehow left confused and surprised at being here at this moment with you. Not to worry. I will be at the services next Sunday at Stewart Park, and I am excited that I will be able to see you in person and see your hopefully smiling faces beneath your masks. And you have another chance to see me this afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. outside of our building for our flower communion. Speaking of seeing you today, let's open up our final small dated packet. It's marked 6/6 or June 6th now. Now be careful with this one. I want you to turn it this way so that the place you open is at the top, and just pull it open and peer inside with me. So, if you peer inside with me, you will see that inside of this envelope are lots of tiny little seeds. These are wildflower seeds, all kinds. Some of these are annuals and some are perennials. Have you heard these words before? When we are talking about flowers or plants, an annual is something that you plant one time and it will bloom or grow for only a single season. A perennial will regrow each year once it has been planted. Not forever, because nothing lasts forever, but for a long time. Our relationships can be like these flowers. Sometimes the time that we have with people in our lives is brief. like a new friend we meet on the playground and have an amazing adventure with and then never see again. Or the friend we made at camp that made us laugh all week long but goes to a different school. Or the teacher we have for 1 year that made us realize how much we loved reading. And all of these people, just like our flowers, impact our lives with their beauty and grace, although our time together is brief. And then we have those people who are with us for a long, long time. Our parents, siblings, grandparents, and other family members. The friends next door that have lived there for our entire lives. The bus driver that greets you year after year with a smile as you begin and end each school day. We also value those relationships and the joy and continuity they bring. You may be wondering how a flower that is an annual survives if it only blooms for a single season. These flowers have to rely on their seeds to carry on for them. And just like those people in our lives who it may feel like are gone too soon, we can still feel their impact after they've gone. In the same way that we see new flowers erupt in unexpected places, bringing a burst of beauty along with the memories of that first flower. Because every person, every relationship is important, whether it is fleeting or lifelong. And the ones that matter change us in ways that we often don't even realize. I couldn't tell you exactly what flowers might grow from the seeds that you have there. I don't know how many will bloom, or how many will last a single season, and how many will return, pushing through the dirt year after year to bring color and sweetness to the world. I do know that each and every flower will be unique and beautiful and important, just like each of you, just like each person that comes into our lives.
Each week, we create a space in our worship together as a communal spiritual practice. We lift up the names and the circumstances that call for our joy and our celebration, and for our concern and our sorrow. This week, I lift up those among us who are struggling with loss of loved ones, of important life milestones, of health and well-being. And I lift up all those who are struggling with illness of the body or the mind, or who are struggling to overcome addiction or unsafe home lives. In particular, this week, I am grateful to this congregation for welcoming me into your lives as your minister. My prayer for us all is that we will find compassion and grace in this time of transition. As we find our way through this next step in the process, may we stay true to our most deeply held beliefs. May we all be well and safe and cared for. If you're watching this service in its live format, I invite you to type your joy or your sorrow into the chat box. Or if you wish, you can speak it aloud to the people you're watching with, or just aloud to the universe. And together, may we trust that these joys and sorrows are held by the universe, and may we offer our love and compassion so that they may be held with care. At the beginning of our live coffee hour each week, we will have a facilitator who will hold space for the sharing of joys and sorrows. And our prayer is that we will continue to engage in this communal spiritual practice of listening deeply and offering our care and compassion to one another. Now, holding in our hearts the joys and sorrows, those shared and those that remain in the silent sanctuaries of our hearts, let us continue in some moments of silent reflection and prayer. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with love. loving kindness. May I be well, may I be peaceful and at ease, may I be whole, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
Each week, we take an offering to sustain the important ministries and programs in this congregation and its presence in Ithaca. The giving information will appear on your screen in a moment during the offertory music. Given to the plate is important. It's a symbol of our gratitude for this service and our ongoing commitment to support the work of this church. So please take a moment and give through either the text option or the giving button on the homepage of the church website. May these gifts bring about connection, inspiration, and engagement within these walls and beyond.
The Reverend Dr. Norbert Fabian Čapek was a Czech Baptist minister when he and his family moved to the United States in 1914. In 1921, Čapek converted to Unitarianism by joining the Unitarian Church in Orange, New Jersey, a congregation which still exists today, and their building has a mural honoring him. Not long after becoming Unitarian, Čapek and his family went back to Europe, and Čapek started a Unitarian congregation in the Czech city of Prague.
But the 1920s and 30s were a time of many frightening changes in Europe, as well as in other parts of the world. Čapek was among the millions of people whose lives were swept up in the events that led up to World War II. When his country, Czechoslovakia, was taken over by Germany in 1938, it was a terrible time for the Czechoslovakian people, for at that time Germany was ruled by the Nazis, who used terror and violence to control people and spread their power. Čapek was among the many who resisted the Nazis, and like so many who stand for freedom and justice, it cost him his life.
And so each year, as a reminder of the beauty of community and the power of speaking out for justice, we gather together our flowers and we part ways with a different flower than the one we've brought. This is a symbol of the ways we are changed, transformed, and nurtured through and by our community.
We hope you will join us for this annual tradition today at the corner of Aurora and Buffalo Streets between 1 and 2 p.m.
Our reading this morning are words by the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Ann Parker. They're a favorite of mine. They will be familiar to you. Your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world. The mind's power, the strength of the hands, the reaches of the heart, the gift of speaking, listening, imagining, seeing, waiting, any of these can serve to feed the hungry, bind up wounds, welcome the stranger, praise what is sacred, do the work of justice, or offer love. Any of these can draw down the prison door, hoard bread, abandon the poor, obscure what is holy, comply with injustice, or withhold love. You must answer this question: what will you do with your gifts? Choose to bless the world. The choice to bless the world is more than an act of will, a moving forward into the world with the intention to do good. It is an act of recognition, a confession of surprise, a grateful acknowledgement that in the midst of a broken world, unspeakable beauty, grace, and mystery abide. There is an embrace of kindness that encompasses all life, even yours. And while there is injustice, anesthetization, or evil that moves, a holy disturbance, a benevolent rage, a revolutionary love, protesting, urging, insisting, that which is sacred will not be defiled. Those who bless the world live their life as a gesture of thanks for this beauty and this rage. The choice to bless the world can take you into solitude, to search for the sources of power and grace, native wisdom, healing, and liberation. More, the choice will draw you into community, the endeavor shared, the heritage passed on, the companionship of struggle, the importance of keeping faith, the life of ritual and praise, the comfort of human friendship, the company of earth, the chorus of life welcoming you. None of us alone can save the world. Together, that is another possibility waiting. Choose to bless the world. These words are etched on the inside of a bracelet given to me by a dear friend on my ordination day. They're words I've spoken many times from this pulpit, and they continue to be a prayer for myself, for every one of you. Choose to bless the world. It's no secret to any of us that we live in a complicated and complex world, one that is both beautiful and broken, loving and hurting, kind and compassionate, and sometimes cruel. We know all too well the ways our hopes can be crushed. We know all too well the ways we can be surprised by our own resilience and love and ability to persevere. And sometimes, quite frankly, we don't want to bless the world. Sometimes we're so angry and hurt and frustrated or disappointed that we want to do anything but bless anything. And I think this is part of what Reverend Dr. Parker is getting at when she talks about holy anger. While there is injustice, she writes, while there is injustice, anesthetization of or evil, there moves a holy disturbance, a benevolent rage, a revolutionary love, protesting, urging, insisting, that which is sacred will not be defiled. Those who bless the world live their life as a gesture of thanks for this beauty and this rage. Those who bless the world live their life as a gesture of thanks for this beauty and this rage. This is an example of both and, not either or. Life is not good or bad. Life is this messy mixture of both. And if we don't know and understand the pain of injustice, anger, frustration, disappointment, We might not fully experience the opposites of justice, joy, satisfaction, and contentment. As it has been said, this too shall pass. This necessity for a balanced appreciation is particularly important in times of transition, in those threshold moments between where we've been and where we're going. So often in looking back, we have a choice of what to bring forward. So often we choose to either see things as good or bad. So often we don't acknowledge the gray area of both and. And we would be wise to consider all of it as we move forward into the next phase, into whatever comes next. We, you and me, this congregation, we find ourselves in one of these threshold moments. This is the final sermon I will preach as your settled minister. This is the moment when I must say to you all that I hope for you and this congregation in your future. So there's this story about Moses. Well, there's a few stories about Moses in the Bible, but one particular story that comes to mind in this particular moment. And this story comes at the end of the book of Deuteronomy. Now, after leading his people through the desert for 40 years, after wandering and struggling and growing and thriving and pushing through, Moses and his people arrive at a canyon overlooking the Promised Land. There it is, the place they've been looking for and longed for generations. And it's clear that Moses will not travel into the Promised Land with his people. He's brought them to this point, but he will not be able to continue in the journey. In fact, this is the point when Moses dies. Now, this is where the story takes a detour from the parallel of where we are living at this particular moment as a community. I am not dying. Well, we are all dying in one way or another, but that's another sermon for another time. Unlike Moses, I am not dying. But like Moses, I cannot continue to lead you into the Promised Land. Our time to part ways has come. We find ourselves at this threshold, on the brink of a canyon, in a place where we must move forward in separate ways. And I'm not saying that I'm like Moses, except that like him, I am called to this ministry of preaching and teaching and stumbling my way clumsily through the difficult task of choosing to bless the world as a religious leader. And you all are called too, to stumble wholeheartedly and with intention in the same task, the difficult task of choosing to bless the world. It's just that from now on, we'll do so in our own separate, messy, chaotic, beautiful ways. In our shared ministry together, we have lived into this intention to bless the world in remarkable ways. When our building was defaced with anti-gay hate speech, we responded with love. When our beloved members and staff members died, some after long lives and some far too soon, we gathered together to remember them and to bless their journeys. When our pews filled with new people, we squished in to make room. And when the safety of all of us depended on us staying home and staying apart, we did that too. Together, we have committed hundreds of thousands of dollars to this congregation and its ministry in the community. We have blessed this world with our gifts of time, of energy, of money, of boxes of noodles and tampons and coloring books. And together we have sung and danced and laughed and made mistakes. We've celebrated pride and blessed animals and scooped ice cream and marched through the streets of Ithaca, sometimes in the name of joy and sometimes in the name of justice. We have wrapped ourselves in bright colors and this church building in a rainbow of reaffirmation that love is love is love. We've welcomed children and said goodbye to some of our most cherished friends. We've committed ourselves as a congregation to living the pledge to end racism every single day. In my time as your minister, you have welcomed me into your hearts and your homes, welcomed me and my family to this community, and for that I am so grateful. Things have not always been easy or worked out how we wanted, and I am choosing to bless it, all of it. The joy, the frustration, the disappointment, the love. I'm choosing to bless it to bless this place, to bless this people. Every missed opportunity is a chance to learn. Every misplaced word of anger is a chance to reflect. Every misstep, a new path forward. Every mistake, a chance to grow and learn and do better next time. And I'll take it all, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I will choose to bless it, to release it, to carry forward the joy and the learning and the love I have found with you. It is my fervent prayer that you will do the same, that you too will choose to learn from it, to reflect on it, and to bless it, that you will live into your calling to be a source of love and goodness in this community and this world, that you will have the courage to live into your covenant and live your values day in and day out, and when you fall short, which we all do, it is my prayer that you will offer each other grace and care and compassion. It's my prayer that you will counteract the forces, the cultural ideas, the white supremacist cultural ideals of perfectionism and urgency and one right way to do things. It's my prayer for all of us that we will do better next time and do so with love and humility and humor and joy, that we will choose to bless the world, ourselves, and each other over and over again. So may it be. Amen. And blessed be.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
As we extinguish our chalices, we do not let go of the hope and courage that they represent. We go forth from this place, carrying with us our sense of wonder and imagination, our stories, an openness to vulnerability and honesty. We carry our promise to work for justice, our compassion for all, our love and our courage out into this beautiful and broken world. May we bless the world. May we bless one another. Our service is now ended. Let our true service now begin. Go in peace.